Welcome to today's topic, which might just reshape your understanding of life and what lies beyond. This tale features a woman whose brush with death completely altered her worldview and uncovered something extraordinary. You're about to discover eye-opening insights into the nature of heaven for those who believe, which could genuinely shift your perspective forever. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on more life-altering stories. And don't forget to like this video and share it with anyone who could benefit from this revelation. Let's jump right in. I'm Serafina, a 51-year-old data analyst working at a thriving tech startup in Vancouver, British Columbia. My life was relatively ordinary until something pivotal happened just a few months back. It honestly feels like ages ago. It was a typical Sunday afternoon, and I was out for a jog. The fresh air felt great, and the sound of my feet hitting the pavement set a perfect rhythm. Then, out of nowhere, a searing pain shot through my chest. In what seemed like just a blink of an eye, I crumpled to the ground. Afterwards, I found out that I'd suffered a severe heart attack due to a condition I never knew existed. Thankfully, a neighbor saw me collapse and called for an ambulance without hesitation. When the paramedics got there, my heart had already stopped. They worked on me for over 10 minutes with CPR and defibrillators, bringing me back to what felt like an unimaginable reality of being clinically dead. But here's the remarkable part. Instead of succumbing to panic, I was enveloped in a profound sense of tranquility. One moment, I was in agonizing pain. The next, I felt myself floating above my physical form. I could see the paramedics below, frantically trying to revive me, yet there was a comforting detachment in that moment. Then, something miraculous took place. All at once, I was surrounded by an intense, radiant light, brighter than the sun, but it didn't hurt my eyes. I felt an undeniable draw toward it, as if it were summoning me. As I gravitated closer, I caught sight of a figure bathed in that stunning brightness. It was Jesus. There was no mistaking him, even though I'd never seen him before. When he extended his hand toward me, an overwhelming wave of love washed over me. It was a feeling I cannot fully articulate, deep, all-encompassing, unlike anything I had ever known in life. In that instant, my beliefs turned upside down. Everything I had thought I understood about existence and what comes after life was completely transformed. There was a moment in my life when everything changed. I found myself face to face with Jesus, and let me tell you, it was life-altering. He looked at me and said, it wasn't my time to go just yet. I still had a purpose on earth. But then he surprised me with this amazing glimpse into the future for those who believe. All of a sudden, I was transported to a breathtaking place, far beyond anything I'd ever imagined. The colors around me were alive, bursting with vibrancy that made everything on earth look dull in comparison. There were rolling hills, draped in lush green grass and a rainbow of flowers. A clear, sparkling river snaked through the scenery, and in the distance, I could see a magnificent city, its towers towering majestically into the sky. As Jesus walked beside me, he showed me this incredible paradise, telling me it was just a fraction of what heaven is truly like. No ghostly appearances here. He assured me that in heaven we'd have perfect, real bodies, ones that felt no pain or sickness at all. One of the most unforgettable parts of my visit was the tree of life. Oh, the fruit it bore was unlike anything I'd ever tasted. Jesus mentioned it produced different fruits each month, and that its leaves were for healing. I saw people from all over the world gathered around that tree, emanating joy and health. And guess what? I spotted someone I recognized, my grandmother. She looked so full of life, so youthful, completely unlike the frail figure I remembered from her last days. Jesus explained that in heaven, we'd be reunited with those we loved who had faith in him, and we might even get to meet those legendary biblical figures. Can you even picture it? People were mingling and laughing with Abraham, Moses, and David. It felt like the warmest family gathering anyone could ever dream of. Honestly, the vibe in heaven was just incredible. This experience really opened my eyes to the boundless possibilities that await us beyond our earthly life. I can't fully articulate it, but it reminded me that love and connection transcend everything. It made me rethink how I live my life and the legacy I wish to leave behind. If there's a takeaway from this, I want to inspire others to see that life is so much richer than we often realize. I really hope my story encourages others to reflect on their beliefs and embrace the beautiful existence we all share. Let me share something truly remarkable that happened to me. I had this vivid vision. Can you believe it? It was a world where creativity flourished in an astonishing way. People were not just building houses, they were crafting breathtaking structures from materials I had never encountered. Jesus was right there with me, explaining how in that heavenly place, our creative freedom surpasses anything we can comprehend. Isn't that mind-blowing? And oh, the gardens. Picture this. Joyful people were tending to the most vibrant plants and trees you can imagine. They picked perfect fruits and vegetables, and it was nothing like the gardening chores we deal with down here on Earth. Everyone was having a blast. No weeds to pull, no pests to worry about. It was like nature's paradise, where everything flourished effortlessly. Now I have to mention the animals. It's one of the aspects that really took my breath away. I remember seeing lions lounging peacefully with lambs and children frolicking alongside bears and tigers. It was incredible. The entire scene radiated warmth and friendliness. It was harmony in action, where fear and violence were mere myths, non-existent among both people and animals. Can you imagine riding dolphins in sparkling clear waters or gliding through the air with magnificent eagles? Each person around me seemed to be part of this beautiful symphony of joy. I was enveloped in this overwhelming feeling of love and belonging. Fear, worry, and sadness felt miles away. Every second was pure magic, filling me with such wonder that I wished it could last forever. But you know what made it all the more special? Being in Jesus' presence. Honestly, it's hard to put into words, but his love was so tangible, wrapped around me like a warm blanket. I learned that the true essence of heaven isn't just about its beauty or the amazing things we get to do. The ultimate bliss comes from being in close communion with God. Then came that bittersweet moment, the one I know I'll never forget. Jesus gently told me my time had come to go back. He had shared those incredible glimpses of heaven so I could inspire hope in others. He reminded me that what I had seen was just a taste of a reality that's more magnificent than we can ever imagine. In an instant, I felt myself being pulled back, and there was this loud voice, a paramedic shouting, "We've got a pulse." Suddenly, I was back in my body, fighting for breath. They rushed me to the hospital, and I spent several days recovering, reflecting on the experience. This entire journey has changed my life in ways I never expected. You know, death doesn't frighten me like it used to. Now I see it as an entrance to something vastly more beautiful. My perspective on life has shifted. I wake up every day with gratitude and a sense of purpose. There's a belief inside me that what I do here holds significance that ripples into a greater existence. I've got this strong urge to tell everyone about the incredible experience I had. Heaven? It's not just a fantasy, it's a reality that's beyond our wildest dreams. But what I really want to emphasize is the importance of knowing Jesus. His love is the foundation of everything. He's the one who opens the door to heaven's wonders. What really caught me off guard were the activities in heaven. We often envision it as just lounging on clouds and playing harps, right? But it's so much more. Picture a world bursting with life and adventures, like traveling across the infinite universe. There's a thrill and so much joy in store for us. One memory stands out vividly, the chance to explore galaxies, reaching out to stars and planets like they were within our grasp. It hit me that our minds there would operate on a whole new level, enabling us to uncover the universe's secrets in ways we can't begin to fathom now. Then there's the ocean. It was a surreal highlight of my experience. I saw the most stunning underwater vistas, home to extraordinary creatures we've never imagined on Earth. And get this, we didn't need any scuba gear. Breathing underwater and handling the immense pressure was effortless. Oh, and those libraries. Imagine shelves filled with every piece of knowledge imaginable. I watched people dive into books with such excitement, engaging in vibrant discussions and making eye-opening discoveries. It felt like the epitome of learning without any of the usual stresses, just joy in growing and sharing ideas together. And the relationships. I was astonished by how deep the connections ran among people there. It was beyond anything we can comprehend here. No jealousy, no misunderstandings, just a seamless flow of love and empathy. I saw individuals from all walks of life sharing laughter and stories, breaking through barriers of language, culture, and race. Everyone was united by a common love for God and each other. I'll never forget how Jesus reminded me that in this amazing place, we have all eternity to build meaningful relationships, not just with one another, but also with Him and God the Father. Let me tell you about this extraordinary experience I had, which completely changed my perspective on what heaven is like. Imagine witnessing moments where people engage in heartfelt conversations with the divine, directly asking their questions and receiving profound insights. It's like nothing I ever experienced before. Now, let's talk about creativity. Oh my goodness. Heaven is a bustling hub of artistic expression. Picture this: individuals painting with colors we've never seen before on Earth. Music? It wasn't just playing in the background, it had a vibrancy, a life all its own. There were workshops buzzing with joy, where people collaborated on brilliant inventions and creations, all without any pressure. It felt liberating, as if everyone was free to unleash their greatest creative talents. During my time there, I also caught a glimpse of how different heaven is from what we know here. I mean, can you picture a place where limits vanish? I saw crowds coming together, constructing entire cities and crafting stunning landscapes like there were no boundaries to their imaginations. Dreams turned into reality right before my eyes, and it clicked for me when Jesus mentioned that just as God is the ultimate creator, we'll also get the chance to participate in this awe-inspiring creation. Curiosity got the better of me, so I asked about time in heaven. You know what Jesus said? The whole idea of time is transformed. Forget about day and night, aging, or racing against the clock. Every single moment is fulfilling and expansive. You could be lost in deep discussions with a biblical figure or exploring an incredible galaxy, yet it never feels like you're missing out on anything else. What truly resonated with me is the realization that we'll experience God's eternal nature without ever feeling rushed. And you know what? It's such a relief to see that heaven won't be boring or monotonous, contrary to some thoughts people hold. Speaking of misconceptions, Jesus helped clear up a few things for me. Contrary to the belief that heaven is an abstract and floaty kind of existence where we lose ourselves, we'll actually have perfected physical bodies, the best versions of ourselves. Our senses will be heightened in ways we can barely fathom right now. Imagine touching, tasting, smelling, seeing, and hearing with astonishing clarity. And here's another important detail. Heaven isn't just one static location. It's vast and always expanding. Jesus even showed me some spaces He's preparing for new believers, just like He promised in the good book. You know, each area in heaven is tailored just for the individual. It's like nothing I've ever imagined. What makes it even better is the thought that we won't lose who we are when we get there. In fact, it's quite the opposite. We'll actually be ourselves in a more profound way. Our unique traits, interests, and talents will be refined and brought to the forefront. Isn't that such an uplifting idea? Speaking of heaven, I really want to talk about the tree of life. It's an absolutely captivating subject. One of my most unforgettable moments was when I encountered this massive tree that seemed to rise infinitely towards the sky. Its branches appeared to touch the clouds, and the leaves had this vibrant green hue that sparkled with a life of its own. Now about the fruit on this magnificent tree. Let me tell you, it was something special. Each month, it bore a different kind of fruit, and when I had my first taste, it was like every flavor I had ever loved came rushing back, only boosted to a whole new level. I can't even articulate how incredible that sensation was. But here's the kicker: the fruit was more than just delicious. Jesus explained its significance for our health. It's essential for keeping our bodies in tip-top shape. And those leaves? They have healing properties too. I even saw people bringing them down to earth, using them for both physical and spiritual wellness. Isn't that just astonishing? It felt like every element of heaven has a meaningful role to play. And you'll never guess what else I discovered. Heaven isn't just floating out there in the cosmos, it's connected to our world. I saw souls in heaven keeping an eye on what's happening down here on earth, praying for their loved ones. Their prayers blend with those of people still living, creating this incredible force of faith. It really struck me that those in heaven are not just bystanders. They are actively participating in God's redemption plan. There's also this breathtaking vision that Jesus shared with me, the new heaven and new earth. Can you imagine a time when God is fully present with his people and all of creation is revitalized? Sounds amazing, right? And let's not forget about the animals. Oh, the creatures in heaven are simply wondrous. I saw some familiar ones and many that I had never encountered before, perhaps extinct species or entirely new beings. What left me awestruck was their serenity. I had this remarkable vision of a paradise where lions and lambs relaxed peacefully together, just like those verses in the Bible describe. There was such an absence of fear and violence, and these creatures seemed to possess an awareness and intelligence far beyond what we observe on Earth. The image lingered with me for a long time, so beautiful and serene. One particular scene stands out vividly in my memory: a young girl playfully riding a gigantic tiger. They both exuded a calmness that felt naturally harmonious, as if they were meant to be in that magical place. I also saw dolphins gliding gracefully alongside people in the river and eagles soaring high above. It was truly breathtaking, and it felt like the barriers that typically separate humans from animals had completely dissolved. In another enchanting moment, Jesus illuminated something profound. He described how, in that heavenly realm, our communication with animals would flourish in ways we can't quite comprehend at this time. He emphasized their role as part of God's wonderful creation, assuring me that our bonds with them would be exactly as God intended, deep and fulfilling. Heaven truly seems like an extraordinary place, brimming with peace and happiness. I remember being curious and asking how we might prepare ourselves while living here in Vancouver. Oh, he had quite a bit to share on that topic. He reassured me that the path to heaven is a gift we cannot earn by our deeds, yet how we choose to navigate our lives holds immense significance. Jesus encouraged me to adopt an eternal perspective, reminding me that our daily choices have lasting implications. A major point he made was about nurturing my relationship with him in the present. He suggested dedicating time to prayer, exploring the Bible, and genuinely striving to understand him more deeply. The more we connect with him now, the more enriching our experience in heaven will be. He also highlighted the importance of showing love to others. Every act of kindness and every moment we share our faith sends ripples that echo into eternity. He reminded me that while our minds can barely fathom the glory of heaven, we can catch glimpses of it even while on earth, whether through uplifting moments of worship, meaningful relationships, or simply appreciating the beauty around us. I can still hear him urging me to keep my eyes peeled for those heavenly encounters. Reflecting on this whole experience has completely transformed my outlook on life. Every day now starts with a renewed sense of purpose and excitement, feelings I hadn't known before. The knowledge of what awaits me in heaven gives me strength during challenging times. I've begun to view others through a new perspective, recognizing their eternal significance and intrinsic value in God's eyes. Spending time thinking about my near-death experience has changed me in ways I'd never expected. My patience has grown, my capacity for love has deepened, and I've become much more forgiving. It dawned on me that the person who might challenge my patience now could very well be someone I encounter in heaven for eternity. I've also taken a step back from valuing material things as much as I used to. Sure, I still appreciate nice things, but they don't hold the same sway over my happiness anymore. Life is packed with incredible experiences, and I genuinely treasure them. Yet, now I know to cherish these moments lightly, keeping in mind that the joys awaiting us in heaven are far more magnificent than anything we might own here on earth. And honestly, the biggest change? My relationship with Jesus has flourished. Loving him, serving him, and knowing him, the essence of my life now revolves around that deeper connection. Everything else flows from it. Before all this, I'll admit, I was a bit of a skeptic myself. Being a data analyst, I thrive on facts and logical reasoning, so I completely understand where skeptics are coming from. But you know what? I encourage you to keep an open heart and mind. There's a multitude of near-death experiences shared by people from all backgrounds, cultures, and faiths. While the specifics might vary, the similarities are so striking that they demand attention. Reflecting on my journey, It's clear how transformative it's been. I found a peace, joy, and purpose that I never knew before. Still, I realize just taking my word isn't enough for many. I really urge others to dig deeper, explore the evidence, read diverse accounts, and most importantly, build a personal relationship with Jesus. He's the one who can truly brighten your understanding of heaven. Speaking of heaven, let me tell you, the worship there is something else entirely. Imagine a place where time and space don't matter. It's like one continuous celebration. Everything exists to glorify God, and His presence is everywhere. During my experience, I saw immense crowds from all around the world, millions united in their worship. The music was indescribable, a mix of complexity and sheer beauty that put earthly symphonies to shame. Colors seemed to swirl in the atmosphere, voices blended joyfully, and even the ground felt infused with this incredible celebration. And what's fascinating is that worship extends far beyond just singing. There's something truly amazing about watching people express their devotion to God in various ways. I saw this artist in Vancouver, British Columbia, who translated her love for the divine onto canvas. And then there was this scientist whose thirst for knowledge seemed like a true celebration of God's creation. It's such a beautiful reminder that our relationship with the divine is rich and layered, isn't it? I like to imagine heaven as a realm where every action symbolizes worship, a genuine reflection of God's love for us. Just picture it. The deeper we go into understanding who He is and all that He's done, the more effortlessly our worship flows. It's far from being just a routine. It's about truly thriving in His presence. And let's not skip over joy. That's a massive part of the heaven experience. It's hard to even compare with what we know here on earth. Happiness tends to come with strings attached, but in heaven, joy feels so much deeper and more fulfilling. It's like a constant wave of wonder that envelops you. When I think about the source of this joy, it's striking. Imagine being utterly known and loved by God. We often conceal parts of ourselves out of fear of rejection, but in the heavenly realm, everything changes. There has to be this incredible liberation in being fully seen and embraced without any fear. Then, there's the thrill of discovery that never seems to end. Learning takes on a whole new meaning in heaven. It's a continuous adventure where we're always uncovering fresh insights about God, His creations, and each other. Every little revelation brings a burst of joy, washing over us like the tide. Perfect relationships make that joy even more intense, right? Just think about a place free from misunderstandings and betrayals. The love we share reflects God's love for us, creating connections so deep that they bring joy beyond what we can even imagine here. Speaking of joy, can we talk about the absence of pain and sorrow? That really hit me hard. Everything that causes us heartache on earth simply disappears in heaven. No more illness, no more loss, and no more fractured relationships. It's like stepping into an entirely new world. I can still picture Jesus lovingly wiping away tears from people's faces as they entered heaven. Those tears represented all their earthly sorrows, but as He brushed them away, it felt like they were being transformed. While our past struggles might remain, their grip on us weakens significantly. In heaven, a whole new outlook comes into focus. What a comforting thought. You know, reflecting on our struggles really brings a sense of peace. It's amazing to see how even the toughest moments can be transformed into something good. I find myself feeling thankful for the challenges I've faced along the way. But let's not forget that heaven isn't just about what we lack in this world. It represents an overflowing abundance of joy and goodness. There's a whole world of delightful experiences waiting for us. Just think about stepping into a realm where you're enveloped in comfort and security. It's like getting a warm hug after a long, tiring adventure. That's the feeling of heaven, like coming back home after being away for far too long. One of my biggest revelations was just how far beyond our imaginations the experience in heaven truly is. The Bible captures it perfectly when it says, "Eye has not seen, nor ear heard, nor have entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for those who love Him." That idea really brings a wave of comfort, doesn't it? When I pictured heaven, I thought it would be beautiful to look at, and while it was, there were so many delightful surprises. Take the laughter, for instance. Heaven was alive with joy and humor. I was surprised by how funny Jesus was, reminding me that joy is an intrinsic part of God's essence. Isn't that a delightful thought? Then there was the incredible variety all around me. Sure, I expected to see people from diverse backgrounds, but what I found went far beyond that. There were angelic beings, each more captivating than the last. And some of the creatures I encountered, I swear they seemed like they belonged to another universe. It's hard to describe. What blew me away the most was how real everything felt. In heaven, I could feel the grass on my feet, savor the taste of fruit that was truly delicious, and enjoy the gentle breeze on my skin. This wasn't some floaty, ghostly realm. It was more vibrant and tangible than anything I'd ever encountered on Earth. And believe me, the people I met were just as astounding. Can you imagine Moses sharing deep insights about the law, or King David creating beautiful new psalms? I even happened upon a fascinating conversation between Einstein and the Apostle Paul about the concepts of time and eternity. What really stood out, though, was the absence of hierarchy. In heaven, every individual holds equal importance, whether they're well-known biblical figures or lesser saints. Everyone was open to sharing their tales and just as eager to listen to one another's stories. I vividly recall seeing a woman I didn't know, deep in conversation with Mary, the mother of Jesus. It's moments like that that stick with you, isn't it? You wouldn't believe the depth of respect and affection I witnessed between them. It was truly awe-inspiring. Serafina was telling me about her time in heaven, and let me tell you, it completely shifted how I view life and what comes after. Imagine this place not as just an idyllic retreat, but as a lively, ever-evolving environment where you can learn and grow forever. She shared that during her visit, she learned something exhilarating. Heaven, according to Serafina, is not a laid-back existence. It's bustling with activity as everyone joins in God's mission. She saw folks diving into what Jesus called kingdom assignments. These tasks weren't arbitrary. They were tailored for each person's unique abilities and passions. While some were busy crafting incredible new things, others were taking on teaching roles, and many were handling various facets of this celestial place. What really made an impression on her was watching people take on thrilling explorations in different parts of the universe. They were spreading God's light to previously uncharted territories. Additionally, she noticed certain heavenly beings diligently working to expand the very bounds of heaven, making room for those destined to arrive in this breathtaking realm. Serafina listened closely as Jesus pointed out that as we grow in our knowledge of Him, our responsibilities in heaven also evolve. The work there, he assured her, is a source of joy, never a burden. Everything flows together beautifully, aligning with God's intentions and in harmony with everyone around. She reflected on how our time on earth acts as a training ground for what lies ahead in heaven. The qualities we cultivate, the lessons we gather, and our unique life experiences shape our eternal destinies. This insight hit her hard. It made her rethink the weight of our choices and actions here. If there's one thing that stood out from Serafina's experience, it's how crucial our relationship with Jesus is. All that makes heaven so breathtaking, the happiness, the tranquility, and the captivating activities, springs from that vital connection to God. Jesus made it very clear. He is the gateway to this wonderful eternal existence. His sacrifice and resurrection open up paths to forgiveness, reconciliation with God, and the chance to embrace the magnificence of heaven. Trust me, this isn't just a heartwarming concept or a pleasant fairy tale. It's as real as can be. Hey everyone, I want to invite all of you to discover something truly amazing. We're talking about an incredible opportunity to get to know Jesus. This isn't just a casual suggestion. It's a profound gift that we should cherish. Let me share a bit about my own journey, which has completely changed my perspective. When we think about eternity and what happens after this life, it's so much more than just a theoretical idea. It's something deeply personal that you can really engage with. I really encourage you not to ignore what you've heard here today. Dive into it. The Bible has some deep wisdom, particularly regarding Jesus and the incredible reality of heaven. And while you're at it, check out some stories from people who've had near-death experiences. Those tales can really open your eyes. But above all, it's about creating that personal connection. You don't need any out-of-the-ordinary experiences to begin your journey with Jesus. He's right there, just waiting for you to reach out. It can be as simple as a heartfelt prayer, inviting Him into your life and asking Him to reveal Himself to you. And for those of you already on this path, take this moment to deepen your relationship with Him. Remember, living with the awareness of eternity can change everything. Let the beauty of heaven shape your thoughts and influence how you treat others, how you use your time, and how you handle your blessings. It's vital to understand that heaven isn't just a distant dream. It's a reality we can start to experience now through our relationship with Jesus. The closer we get to Him in this life, the richer our joy will be in the life to come. I've enjoyed sharing my experiences with you all. My hope is that everyone who hears this can sense the incredible love and joy Jesus brings, not only in this moment, but for all time.